Hey guys, this is Steve from RC Trends. Today I'm going to be showing you this new quadcopter that was recently released by MJX. It's called the X103W. It's the X series foldable GPS quad. It is 2K quadcopter, so it should have pretty good video quality as well as photography. I think it's a little less on the photo side, but still pretty decent. It is 5G, so the transmission on this guy should be pretty good. I think they advertise it for about 300 meters for a budget quad like this. That's a pretty good, pretty good range. I got this from Banggood, and they do sell it with different options. I got the 2 battery version. You can buy it just single battery or 2 or 3. I definitely recommend at least getting the 2 battery version in order to give you enough flight time. These batteries are advertised as 14 minutes. I think that's just in hovering with no wind at all. So more realistically, you'll probably get about 12-minute flight time. It is a 7.6 volt, I believe, at 1100 milliamps, so not a bad battery. It is proprietary though, so you will need to purchase those for this particular quad copter, so keep that in mind. So that's why I do suggest getting an extra battery when you do purchase this. Comes with this nice remote control, which is much nicer than your toy grade quadcopters. It looks more like a professional hobby grade controller, which is very nice. It does come with an extra set of props and a screwdriver and a USB charger. The battery has a little port on the side. You can't charge it in the quad, so you'll have to remove the battery in order to charge it. If it's fully discharged, it'll take you approximately about 2 hours to get each battery fully charged, so it is a little bit slow, but not too awful. And then let me show you what the quadcopter looks unfolded. But first, also show you these these manuals. Comes with the quick start guide, which is really nice if you want to get up flying really quickly, or it's got the more detailed manual that goes over all the different specs and how to operate all the different features. So I definitely recommend reading that as well. So let's open up this quadcopter, show you what it looks like when it's unfolded. It is fairly lightweight. So this is a brush quad. It's not the brushless. So as far as high wind, I wouldn't purchase this if you're thinking that you want to fly it in high wind conditions. I would say in just normal wind, mild wind, this one will perform pretty well. So keep that in mind depending on which way you want to go. The 4W does come with brushless motors, so if you want something a little bit more advanced with image stabilization, you may want to go that route. But for the price, this is really good. So this does have a procedure you have to follow in order to open up the arms. So when you open them, you have to do the rear first. You just pull those and it locks into place very securely. And you got these foldable props, which helps keep this thing nice and compact. And then get the other arm extended. These batteries that it comes with are sit pretty securely within the drone. It's got two little buttons on each side. You just press both in order to release the battery, and then in order to click it in, you just push it in. Snaps in there very securely, so shouldn't pop out on you in normal conditions, or maybe a slight crash. It should be okay. So that's nice. It's got the power button on top of the quadcopter, and it does have little indicator lights as far as to show you the amount of battery life that you have left on on these batteries. And then on the side, you'll see it's got a little SD card slot. They recommended to get a 10 class since this is a little higher quality camera. They do recommend that 10 class SD card, so keep that in mind if you do purchase this. This is the camera up front. As mentioned, it is 2K, and the really nice thing about this is it's not a manual adjusted camera. It's electronic, so when you're flying you can use there's a wheel on the top of the remote control, so you can adjust that during flight, all the way from the front facing all the way to a 90-degree angle, so you can look straight down when you're flying, which is a really nice option. And then underneath the quadcopter is a couple things here. You've got some nice LED bright white lights, so if you're flying at night and you want to use that, it's almost like a spotlight. You can see it from really far away, so that's a really cool feature. And then it's got your optical flow sensor, so when you're in GPS mode it'll hold its position very well. And then so let me show you the remote control in a little bit more detail. So this is the remote. It's got these little antennas, but they're actually non-operable. The antenna is internal, and then it's got a phone clip. I've got an iPhone XR. I've got a pretty thick case, so I have to remove that in order to get it to fit in. So if you do have a thick case, keep that in mind. It's, as mentioned previously, this does have this wheel to control the gimbal on the camera, and then it's got an auto takeoff, auto land feature. It's got the 2 rates, so if you're fighting a little bit of wind, you can choose that function. And it's also got on-off light to conserve that battery, and then you can turn your GPS on and off. So if you're inside, you're doing a little bit of flying and can't get satellites, that is a nice option to have. It's got your lock, unlock button, power button, your photo and your video. The photo and the video are the same one. You short press for camera, long hold for video. So keep that in mind. And then on this remote control, it's got some of these pull down arms, handles. So they snap into place and it feels really nice in your hands, at least my hands. And it's got this LCD screen to give you your flight stats. So again, like I mentioned, that's really fantastic for almost like a toy grade quadcopter. So definitely a nice touch that MJX has done with this quadcopter. So what I'll do is show you some of what this looks like when it's turned on. Show you the procedure in order to get this quadcopter bound and ready to fly. If you didn't read the manual, you probably wouldn't be able to figure out how to get this flying, or if you see this video then you'll know as well. But in order to get this thing operational, what you need to do is you need to press the hold or the lock button, and then turn it on by flicking that switch, and then your LCD screen fires up. And let me show you some of those indicators. Both of these lines on each side, so your connectivity strength, which is great, and it's got your battery life for your remote and for your quad, and then distance, height, shows your GPS on or off, shows the number of satellites that you have, your rates, and the mode that you're flying in, which is the standard second rate. And then in order to get this up and connected to the drone, what we need to do is press and hold the power button on top of the quad for about 4 seconds. So I'll do that now. You can see the LED lights on the battery are now on. It's fully charged, so you get the four lights, and now you get the blinking red and green LED lights. In order to get this thing bound and ready for flight, what you need to do is you need to do the GPS calibration, and all you need to do is rotate this 3 times horizontally. And then as you see, both of the lights are green flashing, and then you just do the horizontal 3 turns. and then there you go. You got the green solid lights in the rear of the quad, and then red in the front. So that means that you're now ready to fly. Since we're indoors, we're not going to get satellite connection. I'm not going to do a flight indoors since I'm in a fairly small space here. But the only thing you need to do in order to get this flying is hit the lock and unlock button again, and then the motor should fire up. Let's try that. And there you go. Motors are going, ready for flight. And then again, to turn it off, you just press the lock button. So in addition to the remote control in the quad, what you'll need to do to access its features is to download the application made for this quadcopter. It's not the MJX Bugs app that they make. You'll have to download an additional app, which is, in this case, it's called the MJX GPS app. So you can get that from Google Play or the Apple App Store, and then you can access those additional features. And what those features are, it has some of the newer standard features, which is the waypoints, also has circle function, and follow. And the app also will bring up a map so you can see where you're flying, and give you the location and your video feed and all that. So definitely make sure to download as soon as you get this quad, so you'll be ready to fly. And the next video, what I'm going to do is get this up to show you how it performs. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit the like button, and subscribe if you would like to as well, so you'll know when I do the flight video, or to see any of my other future videos. Thank you, and have a good day.